Hey Boo Buddies, Anya here, and as you can tell, it is officially fall, officially spooky season. I got my warm hand warmers on, and I'm going to set up for October. Yay! But I got something different planned, and it means we need to start at the back. Well, the back of October anyway. So, I've skipped ahead a few pages. I'm going to lay down some paper towel between my pages and just kind of ink out some outlines real quick. I never do trackers like this. I never do cover pages like this, but I decided to do something inspired by cover pages in the form of a tracker to really give myself some space to work on some projects that have just been going by the wayside all year, and October is my time, and I'm going to enjoy and focus on these projects. And I'm doing that with a potion style idea, and so the bubbles will be where I track my progress, and then we need some popped bubbles and small bubbles just for decoration, and some vapor lines to give the idea of steam and just magic happening. And then I am going to switch to my gouache paint because I don't know why gouache is speaking to me so much lately, but it is. And I know I'm not using grayscale. What is even going on right now? So I've got this fabulous purple in my gouache set, and it's one of my favorite colors and color combinations to use is for Halloween and, well, just in general, is purple and green. So I will also be using some green gouache paint for the potion. And as you can see, I'm using a very tiny brush, and this means two things. It means that this process took a lot longer than the video would have you believe, but it also means that I was able to get in and around the bubbles without too much leakage between the lines and get a nice vapor effect that I wanted. So it actually looks like a potion, and stuff is bubbling and brewing and happening, and that was what we wanted. So yes, tiny brush, big space, labor of love. I tried to just give the background a little bit of interest by using a gray colored pencil, but as is my MO, I don't like colored pencils. I get frustrated, and I really didn't want to do it with a marker, so I just did a quick and then gave up. And now on to the next page. I moved the paper towel over, and I started with more gouache paint, and I did not get this as dark as I would have liked. The paint was arguing with me, and I didn't want to risk warping the paper too much with water since, you know, this is heavy paper, but it's not really meant to take a lot of water and paint. It can handle, but it's not really meant for that. So anyway, over here I've got another tracker that I'm going to do for a different project, and I'm using the opportunity to recreate one of my favorite doodles, which if you've ever seen on my shop, that I made many moons ago, and I had to remake it because the original got sold out from under me, and that made me sad. And then the remake that I made got sold almost immediately, so I need to remake it again. So anyway, I'm gonna let the paint dry a little bit by putting the paper towel between these pages so they don't stick together while I go ahead and work on the calendar page. And just doing a straightforward box calendar, my camera argued with me, so didn't get most of those line drawings on film, those interesting line drawings that, you know, we do every month, so I know you're missing out. With my September setup, I did a bigger calendar and then used a different weekly setup to keep track of everything that was going on that month. And October is going to be a little bit of the same, except, well, you'll see. We, of course, need some embellishments and some color because, you know, this quarter's theme is orange, number one, and it's October, and, You know, we have all those stickers and craft supplies that we get at spooky season and then save them and hoard them and then have to convince ourselves, no, it is October, it's time to use them, so we're going to do that. Just using some markers to add, not really a drop shadow so much as a border around the calendar, just to make it a little bit more of the clear focus. Then I am going to do some cursive, which I haven't done in years. I swore in the 5th grade I would never do cursive unless I had to again, and here I am doing it, yes. I'm going to use the same green I used during my potion little spread to fill in the O of October and give it a spooky full moon effect. And I think this just little pop of color helped kind of, I don't know, make this page a lot more interesting. As much as this gray does not work for shading ghosts, these mild liners have been a lot of fun to just add simple doodles to my spreads and my journaling. And so yeah, I didn't intend to do clouds and a night sky, but just the space just needed it. And then yeah, just that little bit of gray too, because there's no orange up here. Yeah, that made all the difference. At last, it is time to go through this setup and add some Boo. Yay, we're gonna have some Boo, of course, because we need Boo. Cat, unfortunately, is taking the month off because there's just a lot of Boo to do. And yeah, so I'm starting off with a Boo holding a jack-o'-lantern, and they are behind, their face is behind the pumpkin, and when I shade this, they're gonna have their head just slightly down. But I'm going to get through some of these ghosts before I come back and do the shading. So I'm going to add Boo to my falling leaves tracker and get some of these outlines done, and then do some shading and just kind of get an idea of where I want all of my ghosties to be. All of Boo and all the ghosts are going to be shaded with the Tombow dual brush pen set of the N95 and the blue 533, I believe is the number code for that. And I know there's a lot of back and forth, I know flipping to the back and flipping back to the front, but trust me, it's for my own sanity. And yes, so just adding a little extra shading to the top of Boo's head to show that their head is pointed down behind the jack-o'-lantern. And now it's time to cut. Dun dun dun. Okay, so this is going to be the first tab of my October setup, and yeah, and Boo holding the jack-o'-lantern is perfect because it's the overall theme of October, which is spooky season, so that's a great little symbol in my weird head of what's going on this tab. And I'm going to do the detailing with my craft knife and my cutting pad. Yes, cutting pad. Always remember to put something down so you don't just cut all your pages, and go slow so you don't lose control of the blade. Yes, all important. I'm adding some washi tape to kind of create a border between the calendar spread and the tab. I did not know this was glitter washi tape when I got it. I thought it was just a plain black, but it is hard to find plain black washi tape, it turns out. So I have black with glitter, and I don't mind it. You can't really see the sparkle on camera, and you can kind of see why I didn't know it had it until I got it out of the packaging. But just to add a little, I don't know, spice, structure. And I have these glitter black bats, and I thought they went well with my glitter black washi tape. So I put them over the moon and just to fill out the sky a bit, and I don't know, make it a little batty. Okay, now it is time to go to the middle of my October spread finally, and there's a reason I waited to do this last, and it's because it's gonna get messy. So I've got paper towel and I've got some Mod Podge. It's glue. It's glue mixed with a little water, and I've got some book paper, craft paper pages, and I'm just gonna glue them down now. I just want to give this a look of text and old book, maybe old spell book, maybe not, maybe just old book. And so I just wanted more text. I wanted text. I didn't want legible text. I just wanted a background of lots of brown paper, old paper, and text and typeface. And this took a few coats and a lot of waiting. And just to do this technique, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be a complete disaster. So if worst came to worst, I could just take it out, glue the pages together, and pretend it never happened. But I think it worked pretty well once I got the hang of it. So yes, this takes a lot of coats, a lot of patience, and a lot of waiting for things to dry completely before you move on. So yeah. Okay, once I got the entire spread all filled up with my text paper, I've got a little bit of note paper that I've had for a while that I thought was cute, and I decided to use it to make my goodies list pop up. So this is my list of all the things I'm going to make sure that go in my goodies, where my handouts for all of my trick-or-treaters. Next I have my watch list, all the things I want to watch during the month of October in the form of a bingo game, but because it's October and we needed a spooky letter word, 5-letter word, I went with ghost instead of bingo. And I had some fun orange stickers that just went with my orange and spooky theme very well. Then I had these orange spiderweb stickers that I wanted to use. I got them specifically to use in this spread, and they were a nightmare. As you can see, it's not going well. It's not going well. Yeah, do not recommend. They were way too delicate, so they were hard to get off the paper, and then they kept breaking and they were hard to handle. Yeah, do not recommend. Okay, so our next tab that goes on this spread is going to be Boo with a trick-or-treat bag and a bag of goodies, because this is all of the goodies and fun stuff spread. We've got our watch list, we've got our goodie checklist, and the other thing that's going to go over here is all of my recipes that I like to make during colder weather and spooky season. And when I make homemade things, I like to have a menu recipe list that whenever I go, what am I going to do? And then you can flip to it and you can go, yay. Same black washi tape to partly divide up the spread, but also the washi tape really does give just a little bit of structure to the tabs, just that little bit of extra strength where the paper gets thinner and doesn't have as much. And this is why I painted the other thing, the tree on the other side of the page first, is because I knew I was going to cut and I wanted to have everything nice and polished before I cut the tab. And I knew I was going to lose some of it, but I wanted it to look on purpose and not like I was painting around missing paper. So, okay, now we have the final tab, so we have spooky, we have goodies, and now we'll go back to our projects page, all of our projects, and we will give Boo a clipboard so that they can be checking things off all of our project lists. And I just thought that was way too cute. So I definitely had way too much fun coming up with all the different ideas of pictures for tabs. Yes, I did. And I regret nothing. once I got all of the boos all shaded, they're all shaded now, it was time to finish up with a little bit of washi tape, and I probably should have used the same sparkly black washi tape, but it just didn't go with the potion thing, and so I have these little skulls that I thought was just, it went enough and it wasn't too distracting and it divided everything. Plus there's already a lot of black with the tree on the other side, and sure, hopefully it'll be filled in with lots of falling leaves by the end of the month, because that would be pretty and productive, but I just wanted to not have too much black. So now I'm going to do some final details, like label the other side of the tabs so that when you flip back to them, you know what you're flipping to, and finish in my menu page. And one of the reasons I wanted to do the craft paper text is so that I had a nice background for these stupid stickers. I do. No, don't, never again. But I wanted to do this background because it gave me a nice pop for a lot of the Halloween stickers I've collected over the years, and made a nice little something so that I could, so that it would all stand out and look very on purpose instead of just plain white paper in the background. All right, some final details just to make everything a little bit more polished, and we will do a flip through so you can see how it all looks before I fill it up with all of my dreams and plans and productivity. This was the month to do lots of lists and lots of trackers and not a weekly setup, and I think it's going to work pretty well for this month. I hope you guys found inspiration, and I will see you in the next one, Boo Buddies.